Hey Mater, do you happen to remember a fellow Pixar movie that they made called Toy Story? Well, of course I do, McQueen. I remember all the adventures from all the 4 movies that Buzz and Woody went on together. Indeed, Mater. Say, I was just about to check out the first movie. Wanna watch it with me? Why sure, McQueen, and perhaps after that, we could check out the other 3 movies they made. And it looks like they have them all on Disney+. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's roll the films! Gee, it was sure fun rewatching those movies, McQueen. Yep, next to our movie, Toy Story is a certified Pixar classic. Say, that gives me an idea. What if you and I did a review of the Toy Story movies? That sounds like a brilliant idea, McQueen. Let's do it! Hello there, viewers, and welcome back to another NASCAR Sonic fan movie review. I am Lightning McQueen. And I'm Toe Mater. And in this review, we're going to be reviewing a fellow Pixar film, that being Toy Story. This movie first launched on November 22nd, 1995, and this movie tells a story about what it's like to live a life as a toy. And the franchise was just as popular as our franchise that it will go on to make 3 other movies in the future. So now, let us start off and get into the review of the characters. First up, we have the 2 main characters, that being Woody and Buzz. Woody can be portrayed as a famous cowboy from a puppet show called Woody's Roundup, and in the first movie we can see that Woody is Andy's favorite toy. But then came along Buzz Lightyear, who is portrayed as a space ranger for Star Command protecting the galaxy. And when he came around, he became Andy's new favorite toy to play with. And at first they didn't like each other because of how much they were competing to be Andy's favorite toy. But over the course of the film, they would later become friends and even work together to save the other toys. Speaking of other toys, let's talk about Jessie and Bullseye next. These characters will make their debut in Toy Story 2 and also be main characters on Woody's Roundup. Jessie can be best known for her excitement, personality, and she is also loyal and brave. And over time she would become close friends with Woody and Buzz and would eventually become Buzz's girlfriend. And Bullseye is Jessie's best friend horse. And while he may be seen to be Woody's horse, he tends to favor Jessie more over Woody. And they would team up with Woody and Buzz, going on all sorts of different adventures, solving problems and rescuing others. Next up we have Rex and Slinky. Rex is portrayed as an anxious but also lovable green plastic dinosaur. He's also a loyal friend to Buzz and Woody, and while he may look fearsome on the outside, on the inside he's actually a gentle and easygoing dinosaur. He often at times tends to worry about being replaced and is insecure about not being scary enough. And Slinky is best portrayed as a loyal dachshund dog with a southern accent. He has unwavering support for Woody and often helps him out by using his coils to make a bridge or use it as a bungee cord. Next up we have Ham and Bo Peep. And just like Slinky and Rex, Ham also serves as a loyal friend to Buzz and Woody. And he is best known for his common sense and his knowledge of technology. He even has an alter ego called the Evil Dr. Porkchop. And Bo Peep is portrayed as a shepherdess and always guiding young little sheep on the right path. She would appear in the first 2 films but not appear in the 3rd one, but would make a return in Toy Story 4. And she is currently portrayed as a strong, adventurous, lost toy. She also happens to be Woody's love interest and will lead a new life in helping him out. Next up we have Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Forky, and the Aliens. Mr. Potato Head was a toy product that first launched in 1952 and is portrayed as a plastic toy potato. And with it came different accessories you can use to change up the faces, such as different eyes, mouth, and hat, and shoes. And a year later, Mrs. Potato Head would be made to accompany Mr. Potato Head. They are seen as a lovely couple in Toy Story, and in the 3rd movie, Mrs. Potato Head would actually lose one of her eyes but would regain it towards the end of the film. The Aliens, also known as the Little Green Men, are promotional squeeze toys for Pizza Planet, and they often tend to worship the Claw, in which meaning that they worship the Claw Machine game. Buzz recruits them in the first film in order to get their help in rescuing their fellow toys. They also served as scientists and engineers working for Star Command. Forky can be best described as a spork-turned project that was created by Bonnie. He has an existing crisis and often believes that he is more trash rather than being a toy, despite him being a lovable plaything. He is often naive and tends to question his purpose. And he would lead Woody on an adventure in which he would help Forky understand his purpose in life as being a toy. Next characters are Barbie and Ken. Now they may be owned by Mattel, but they actually ended up making an appearance in Toy Story 3. They are first seen at Sunnyside Daycare welcoming Buzz, Woody, and the others as new toy members. But Ken and Barbie are dolls, Mater. They're not dolls, McQueen, they're toys just like Woody and Buzz are. Anyways, they are first seen as a lovely couple just like in the Barbie franchise. But later on in the movie, Ken would actually betray Barbie's trust and work for Lotso in trying to stop the toys from exiting Sunnyside, while Barbie, on the other hand, actually assisted the toys in helping them out escape from Sunnyside. But towards the end of the movie, they would eventually make up and get back together. Next up, we have Woody and Buzz's owner, Andy. During the first two films, we see Andy in his younger years as a kid who always loves to play with his own toys, and he would always have an imagination-filled mindset whenever he played with his toys. But during the third film, we would see him evolve into a young man who is heading off to college. And because of this, he needed to sell his toys, but towards the end of the film, he would give them to Bonnie instead. But in other parts of the movie, he would always remember on the good times that he had with them. And speaking of Bonnie, let's talk about her next. She was a new character who was introduced in the third film and can be portrayed as a shy little girl who attends Sunnyside Daycare. But just like when Andy was a kid, she has an imagination-filled mindset. And before Bonnie got Andy's toys, she actually had some of her own toys. And those toys being Buttercup, a unicorn plush, Dolly, a rag doll in a purple dress, Mr. Prinklepants, a theoretical hedgehog, Trixie, a blue plastic triceratops, Peas in a Pod, which are 3 green plush peas, and Chuckles, the clown who used to belong to Sunnyside. And since Andy's toys belong to her now, she will become the new main human character in the fourth movie. Well, now that we've got the good/main characters out of the way, it's time that we talk about the villains. In the first Toy Story film, the first villain is actually another kid named Sid. And this kid can be portrayed as very aggressive and very ruthless towards playing with toys. He would even go as far as taking them apart and exploding them with fireworks. He even took some of his sister's toys to take them apart and make his own creations out of them. And towards the end of the film, the toys would go out of the normal state and come alive to scare the heck out of Sid in order for him to play more nicely with the toys. So hopefully he'll learn from that experience. Next up we have Emperor Zurg. He first appeared during the beginning of the second film with a battle scene between him and Buzz Lightyear. And his purpose was to destroy Star Command and take over the galaxy. He may not be the main villain in the second film, but he is portrayed as the main villain in a spin-off show in which we will get to in a little bit. The main villain of Toy Story 2 actually was Stinky Pete, and also known as the Prospector, he is also a main character from Woody's Roundup. He was never played with, and he was desperate to be put into a museum, and he would try to manipulate Woody as well as the rest of the Roundup gang to join him, even if it went as far as keeping Woody from his owner Andy. And while he may look charming, his bitter side showed when his plan got threatened towards the end of the movie. But his dreams would ultimately lead him to his defeat when he ended up in the backpack of a young girl named Amy who was very artistic and loved to draw on her toys. Next up we have the Toy Story 3 villain, that being of Lotso. Now don't let this soft strawberry scented teddy bear fool you. He may appear nice at first, but he tends to rule Sunnyside with an iron fist. He often tends to leave behind the new toys in the caterpillar room for them to be beat up and roughed up by the kids after recess. It was revealed later on in the film that he actually had a traumatic past. He was previously owned by a young girl named Daisy who often played with him a lot. But one day, after a fun-filled picnic, Daisy fell asleep and her mom carried her to the car without realizing that she had just left behind her favorite stuffed bear. And hence this is the reason why Lotso became a dictator. But towards the end of the film, Lotso would get karma. A landfill worker would find him in the dump and he would attach him to the front grille of his garbage truck with all the other plushes attached to it. And because of that, he was no longer portrayed as a toy but rather a garbage truck decoration. And lastly, we have Gabby Gabby, who served as the villain for the fourth movie. She is portrayed as a vintage doll who is always seeking a child's love and a new voice box to replace her broken one. And since she was so desperate for a new voice box, she would try to take the one from Woody. And unfortunately, towards the end of the film, Woody would willingly give up his voice box in exchange for Forky's freedom. And because of this, Woody now realized that he was no longer strictly Bonnie's favorites. He would give up his sheriff badge to Jesse and he would abandon the gang towards the end of the fourth film. Gabby, on the other hand, would get rejected by her owner Harmony, leaving her heartbroken, but would find solace and comfort in a lost girl at the carnivore, hugging her, and she took her home. Not really an ending I would expect if you ask me. While there may have been 4 films made over the years, Buzz actually got his own spin-off series, that being Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. In this show, we get to see Buzz Lightyear going on all sorts of adventures across the galaxy while also trying to defeat the evil Emperor Zurg. But Buzz isn't the only one who would get his own spin-off. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head would also have their shot at the spotlight, even though their series was only short-lived. And we even see Forky have his own series of shorts called Forky Ask a Question. And Toy Story was actually the first film to ever be made from a computer. And going back to Barbie and Ken, they were actually supposed to appear in the first film but got rejected by Mattel thinking it would flop. But they would later go on to be featured in the third film after seeing how much success it had. Buzz's original name was supposed to be called Lunar Larry, but decided to change it and name him after the US astronaut named Buzz Aldrin. And in Buzz's last name, Lightyear, it was actually the idea of how to depict tires in the Cars universe as Goodyears. Well, after going through that review, what do you think we should rate the franchise as a whole, Mater? The Toy Story franchise is such a classic Pixar franchise. I'd say it's just as good as our film franchise. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. If only they were portrayed as cars in our universe. But at least they appeared as cars in the spin-off film towards the end of our movie called Toy Car Story. I would most have to definitely agree with you on that, Mater. Well, that'll just about do it for this movie review. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Gee, McQueen, I thought that was a pretty good review we did on the Toy Story franchise. Yep, I think we did pretty good, Mater. Hey Lightning, Mater, have you heard the news? What's the big news, NASCAR Sonic fan? Pixar just released a new film, that being Toy Story 5. And it looks like in this film, the toys take on the advancements of technology. Wow, cool, we actually just got done doing a movie review on the franchise. Say, that gives me an idea. Why don't we all go together and watch the new Toy Story 5 film in theaters? Well, what a daggum good idea. Let's all head to the theaters and watch Toy Story 5.